Now, last week it was revealed that one of Rudy Giuliani's associates, Igor Fruman, had taped a dinner conversation with President Donald Trump. Now we find out that I believe Lev Parnas had also taped the same conversation. And so now you have these two Giuliani associates both having tapes out of this conversation. And I've got some of it for you. So now, among some of the other bits in the call, including the call to take out Ukrainian ambassador Marie Ivanovich at the time, who was fighting corruption, and obviously they couldn't stand that because they wanted to do their own personal corruption, which includes Parnas and Fruman. They also got into an interesting discussion about Bernie Sanders. Take a listen.
They rigged it. Bernie would have beat Hillary in the primary.
That would have been tougher.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there was no hatred.
Right, you're right. There was no hatred. Millennials were right.
I mean, she.
As great as he was, half my motivation working was
Hate
not let her do it.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a big part of our
race.
race.
Vice president would have been tougher.
Yeah,
She picked a real stiff
Kane
kid.
was what
Yeah.
I couldn't.
But I
that
think
was a
Bernie,
plus.
because all those people that hated her so much, who voted for me. I got 20% of Bernie vote. People don't realize that because of trade, because he's a big trade guy. He basically says we're getting screwed on trade. And he's right. I'm worse than he is. And we can do something about it. I don't know if he could have. But had she picked Bernie Sanders, it would have been tougher. It was the only one I didn't want her to pick. Now, then people say, no, it would have been easier because then her sort of establishment, normal Democrats would have come to me. So she may have lost a lot of votes too.
You're right, so you don't know.
Fascinating. I love everything about this. It's great. If she had picked Bernie Sanders, it would have been tougher. No, you would have been crushed. And you know that. He is the only one I didn't want her to pick. Okay. So now, of course, he says, well, I mean, maybe some of her supporters would have went to me. Look, if Bernie Sanders, and this might be a good point, but if Bernie Sanders had won the nomination and not had been picked as Hillary Clinton's VP, which is what he was talking about, but if he had actually won the nomination, I wonder how many Hillary Clinton supporters would have voted for Donald Trump. I know you're thinking, come on, that would never happen. Really? Would 20%? No, 25%. About a quarter of Hillary Clinton supporters voted for John McCain over President Obama back in 2008. John McCain, you know what they call themselves? Pumas. Stands for Party Unity My Ass. You don't think that there would have been a significant amount of Hillary Clinton, the voters that would have voted for Donald Trump? I think there would have been. And I think certainly there is a large contingent of ex-Hillary Clinton voters, people that supported Kamala Harris, that currently support Elizabeth Warren. If Bernie Sanders gets the nominee, they are going to vote for Donald Trump. Guaranteed. So now, let's get to a little bit of substance here. Now, he is right, again, that some of the independent voters did go from Sanders to Trump. Not 20%. He was wrong about that. About 11 to 12%. But remember, none of those people were going to go for Hillary Clinton in the first place. And so they're right when they say that there was a large contingent of people that did not like Hillary Clinton. Now, they also said that Bernie Sanders was better on trade. He's right. And I love how Trump says, well, I'm worse than he is. No, really. Yeah, I agree. So now several times in the conversation, they also mentioned the rigging of the nomination. And that is true as well. The nomination was rigged in favor of Hillary Clinton. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was literally removed from her position because of that. Donna Brazile had leaked questions from CNN to the Clinton campaign, terrible debate schedules, Clinton literally laundering money to her campaign to the states and starving down ticket races of some of their money. I mean, all of that, what do you call it? What else do you call it? It's rigged. It's rigged. All right, so now they go on to mention how Sanders should have gone crazy after what happened in the DNC. Here's what Trump said, quote, "It is funny how he had not gone crazy." Well, what does he mean by that? Well, go crazy against Hillary Clinton after what happened at the DNC. But here's the thing, Bernie Sanders didn't. You know why? It's because he knew Donald Trump would be an absolute disaster. And he got a lot of, by the way, pushback from people for endorsing and supporting and being a surrogate for Hillary Clinton. In fact, he put the good of the country over his own campaign, over his own dreams. He didn't even have dreams of becoming president, let's be honest. He actually initially ran to raise awareness of issues like Medicare for all, eliminating student loan debt, and making college public universities tuition free, and a $15 minimum wage, all that stuff, right? So he gave everything up for the good of the country. And because he, again, believed that Donald Trump was more of an existential threat to the United States. He enthusiastically endorsed Hillary Clinton. Again, got a lot of pushback for that. Did 39 plus rallies all over the country, did numerous TV appearances as a very strong surrogate for Hillary Clinton. Still, of course, obviously not strong enough for Hillary Clinton, at least now. Back then, at the DNC event in Philadelphia, the convention, actually, she thanked Bernie Sanders very vigorously and even sent a thank you note. Yeah. But not enough. He waited. He waited until Philadelphia to endorse Hillary Clinton. I mean, why? It's because he wanted to create the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party. He wanted to get corporate influence out of the DNC. He wanted to reform the superdelegate system and to push for more progressive positions in the party. It didn't quite work out, as we've seen, but goddamn, at least he tried, and he leveraged all the political capital that he had in order to do so. That's why Bernie Sanders didn't go crazy, which, by the way, Donald Trump's nickname for Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie, right? But he certainly could have. But here's the thing. Bernie Sanders has always had his sights on doing what's best for the country. And even Trump knows that. And even Trump knows that squaring off against Bernie would have been that much harder for him. I think Bernie Sanders would have beaten Donald Trump. And I think this time, if he becomes the nominee, he will beat Trump. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.